next section is about counseling your men. Nothing more unfortunate can happen to an officer than to come to be regarded by his subordinates as unapproachable. For such a reputation isolates him from the main problems of the command, responsibility, as well as its chief rewards. Now, how do you become approachable? The too formal manner, the over-rigid attitude, the disposition to deal with any human problem by the numbers as if it were one more act in an organizational routine can have a chilling effect upon men. So that idea that you're just going to be by the book on everything, that's not going to make you approachable. That being said, back to the book, it is not necessary that an officer wet nurse his men in order to serve well in the role of counsel. His door should be open, but he does not play the part either of father confessor or of a hotel greeter. Neither great solemnity or effuseness are called for, but mainly serious attention to the problem and then straightforward advice or decision, according to the nature of the case, and provided that from his own knowledge and experience he feels qualified to give it. If not, it is wiser to defer than to offer a half-baked opinion. So it's okay if you don't know. Hey, look, I don't know. I've never dealt with this before. Maybe you should go talk to Echo. He deals with these computers all the time. Come to me with your computer problems. Back to the book. World War II officers had to abide by this standard, dealing with the general malaise which rose out of redeployment. When a man came forward and said that he couldn't take it anymore, and the commander knew that he'd always been a highly dutiful individual, it became the commander's job to attempt to get the man home. But when a second man came forward with the same story, and the record showed that he'd always shirked his work, the question was whether he should be given the final chance to shirk it again. To favor the first man meant furthering discipline. His comrades recognized it as a fair deal. To turn back the second man was equally constructive to the same end. So that's just classic. And we've seen that in just about every book we read. You know, when some guy, World War II, we saw a bunch of it. Some guy would just lose it. And we even saw in the Korean, some of the Korean books we've covered. The guy loses it, but they're a good guy. Remember the guy walking around in his sleeping bag? Look, dude, we're just going to take care of this guy. He's been a good guy. We'll get him off the front. He's got a few days left. But then when you get a guy that's weak and scared and doesn't man up and do his duty, and then he wants to go home, they're not giving that guy the slack. Doesn't deserve it, didn't earn it.